family is certainly really important to a lot of different people. Some people don't necessarily have fathers in their lives that they can turn to, but I'm sure that they have someone in their life that they do consider a father. So just wanted to, again, wish everybody a happy Father's Day. So guys, if you're new to this stream, this is a show that we do every single Monday. It's called Gratitude, and that's the name of the show. And the show is just about finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life. Each week we have guests that recall circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them, to help them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. And just wanted to, again, thank you for being here. If you get an opportunity, guys, as well, there's a lot of different shows, a lot of different content creators on the app. Check it out every Monday through Thursday. You can look under trending. You can see all the people in the banner that certainly just put a lot of time and energy and effort into what they're doing. So certainly just even pop in for 5 minutes, check out what everybody's doing, and really just try to support everybody on the app, because a lot of people are putting a lot of time into this. So again, thank you so much for being here. This is what we do. We always like to start the show out, guys, with a quote. And so this week's quote, we'll go into the new topic for later on tonight. This week's quote, guys, is this: the ability to discipline yourself to delay gratification in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term is the indispensable prerequisite for success. Let me say that one more time. The ability to discipline yourself to delay gratification in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term is the indispensable prerequisite for success. That's a pretty amazing quote, guys. Think about that. We'll read it later on in the show. But so as we're going to recap last week's topic, guys, was random acts of kindness. And this gentleman here is certainly someone that I have really enjoyed his content on the app. Certainly check him out, and we'll get into that a little bit with him here in just a second. So at this time, guys, I want to welcome Mr. More Miserable to the box. Let's see you, man.
Hey.
Yo, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, Jamison?
Good, man. Good to see you, man. Welcome. Thank you so much, brother, for taking the time to be here. I know that you're busy along with a lot of other people, and I just wanted to tell you I appreciate you taking the time to be here for the show.
I wouldn't miss it, man. I wouldn't miss it. I'm really excited to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we really get into the topic, when we were talking about earlier in the show, at the start of it, speaking of shows and content, I know that you have certainly an amazing show that you do on the platform. If you kind of want to just touch on that a little bit, plug that show. The floor is yours, brother.
Sure, yo. Well, it's pretty simple. We got Pet Profiles, which is not a lot to talk about. Every Wednesday at 10. If you like seeing cute furry animals, there's not a lot to it. People share their pets, and we talk about why we love them so much. And then, of course, my other show that I do every other Sunday, which appreciate that. Which I'm really excited. Jamison is going to be our next guest, guys, on in 4 weeks' time. We are taking a break. We do it every other Sunday. It's called The Forgiveness Project. And we have guests come and talk about pains or traumas or whatever that they've overcome in their journey towards healing and forgiveness. We're trying to really spread a forgiveness and love culture, not just here on the app, but, as far-reaching as we possibly can.
Absolutely, brother. I think it's certainly important to try to use the platform that we have to the fullest extent. And I think, like I said, a lot of people are doing a lot of amazing things on the app, especially yourself and myself included. So guys, please, again, try to check out his show. He's got 2 amazing shows that he's doing content-wise, and definitely try to support him when you can. So, brother, if anybody is not familiar with you, I'm surprised that they wouldn't be. Just kind of share yourself a little bit, your story, what brought you to the app, whatever you want to share personally, and we'll get to it.
I think, I, like most of us, am a COVID baby of me. I was on Plenty of Fish, up to no good. And, and I was like, what is this live feature? What is this about? I was like, is this Cam Girl or what's going on with this live feature? And then I saw that it was just this whole new world that I've never seen before, and people just using the app in all sorts of different ways, connecting with people. And, of course, once the shutdown happened, that was in February. Once the shutdown happened in March, man, I kind of made camp and Meet Me, and and streaming and just decided, man, this is just a whole new world that I could totally plug into. And it's just kind of taken on a life of its own from there. I definitely wouldn't have thought if you would have told me a year ago I was going to be a top badge and, doing all these shows and producing all this content, I would have said, you're crazy. But I mean, sometimes we don't realize our purpose until it happens to us,
Absolutely. I think that, like you said, just to kind of piggyback on that, I think that it was something that I obviously myself didn't know anything about. And then when you kind of get brought into that world, you meet all these wonderful people. Absolutely. You're able to generate and create all these amazing relationships on the app, off the app. And it's something that, as you start down that path, you really didn't see it, as you started, but as you move forward, you're like, man, these are just really amazing people. Certainly, it's a great opportunity to be able to connect from people from different countries, different states, different cities. And to, like you said, here you are and here we are, providing content on the app and things like that. It's just certainly, for me especially, just a wonderful thing that I'm appreciative of and grateful for every single week. So
which if you think about it, it's a blessing and a curse. We meet so many people from so many different places, but then we want to see these people and they're like hundreds of miles away, if not thousands. It's like, we meet all these amazing people, but sometimes the only time we get to see them is through the screen.
Absolutely. So man, as we get into kind of a recap of last week's topic, we go into random acts of kindness. When you think about that topic, when you think about just the random act of kindness, what really jumps out at you? What really signifies, that particular topic in your mind?
To me, a random act of kindness, whether it's just a one kind of one and done thing, I want to do something this one time, or this is just kind of a lifestyle that you live by doing random acts of kindness. I think what jumps out in my mind is doing something for someone who can serve you in no way. This person can do nothing for you. You are being kind merely for kindness' sakes. I say all the time, man. I say it not just on this app, but in the real world. How you treat people who can do nothing for you says everything about who you are.
Absolutely.
So when I think about random acts of kindness, man, that's what jumps out at me is treating people with kindness that really, honest, you're not expecting anything in return. You're doing it just to be kind.
All right. I think that a lot of times in life, especially when we do things and we don't have that expectation, when we do things in a way that feels more genuine and more, just a natural thing, I think that that's when it hits us different, especially. And I think that also as well, it doesn't just affect us with what we're doing. I think that what you do for that person, especially, feels a lot more of an amazing thing because it's like they know that what you're doing is genuine and heartfelt. And a lot of people, for the most part, would appreciate that kind of stuff.
Right.
And especially when it's random, when it's something that you just don't plan, when it's something that just kind of comes out of thin air. I know for myself, especially, say you're going through the drive-thru, say you're at McDonald's, say you're, whatever your favorite restaurant is, whatever the case may be. I've been able to sometimes just pick up somebody behind me and just be like, excuse me, like, what did that person get behind me? I'd like to just pick up their tab. I'd like to just do that. I'd like to just do something that's thoughtful, something that I know at the end of the day will appreciate, that someone else will appreciate, that may make their day in a way that, you don't ever know what people are going through. You don't ever know what people are experiencing. Sometimes people are just really having a tough day. Sometimes people are really just struggling in, a lot of different areas of their life. And if you can do something simple like just picking up a combo or picking up a cup of coffee or something like that, I think that that's when people really, really appreciate, just the small things,
Oh, absolutely. And, it can, that act can instill a little bit of hope into someone's life that maybe you don't know what, like you said, you don't know what they're going through. And there's this principle in psychology that we tend, as people, even positive people, we tend to remember the negative things about people more than we do the positive. So we're already coming at a little bit of a deficit just because, and there are psychological and evolutionary reasons for that, and rooted in defense. And I'm not going to get into that, but I mean, just kind of compensating for that deficit by kind of giving that little bit of hope when you don't know where that person's coming. That could give them a little hope when they're having a rough day or a rough week or even a rough month or year to say, hey, oh my God, there are good people in this world. There are people who are good and decent and care. And especially, like I said, if you do it out of nowhere, like in the drive-thru or or whatever, something you don't even know. I mean, that it just instills a little bit of hope in people,
It really does. And it hits a little bit different too. I think, like you said, you made a great point with where we're at. I mean, I know that a lot of places things are kind of getting back to normal. I know that a lot of people are lifting a lot of the COVID restrictions and the pandemic stuff and all that. But I think as we've gone through that process, as we've gone through, dealing with the pandemic and things like that, it's made us very more introverted as people. I think that
Yeah,
it's made us maybe less sociable in a lot of ways. I think that it can, affect people to be less of thoughtful, or it makes you not be so random in your act of kindness, because you kind of become more, inside yourself. And so I think that as we kind of try to instill that, as we kind of try to hold on to, the important qualities and the important aspects of life in general, I think that that's certainly just a huge, part of us trying to get back to some kind of normalcy, for us to continue to appreciate people in big and small ways. I think that that's certainly a great place to start.
absolutely. I for one, am starting to get a little bit worried about my social skills deficit, man. I go up to people in real life and I try to click on their forehead and send them a rose. It doesn't work. So, I'm like, oh, wait,
Right?
how do I share that I like you in the real world? We need to be careful about
Yeah, it's certainly something that you have to kind of like turn your mind off of
learn,
that and back
relearn,
into
right?
real life, for sure. Guys, if you're new here, this is a show called Gratitude. We do this every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The show's talking about finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life. We have guests every single week that recall circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them, to help them reflect and grow through that to gratitude. And my man right here, Mr. Moore himself, we're talking to him about random acts and kindness, how important that is to try to instill that in your life every single day, and what has certainly been some things in his life, especially, that have been important. As you, like you said, man, as you kind of work back to the normalcy of your social skills, if you kind of get back to, where you want to be as far as, interacting with people, are there certain specific random acts of kindness that you see that you can continue to work on to try to make that a little bit better?
I think, I'll be honest, I'll be a little vulnerable here. 2021 has been very, very rough for me. As most people who know me know, I lost my house and most of my possessions earlier this year when the Texas storm came through, and I've been dealing with an insurance company that's been kind of messing with me. So I'm naturally a very positive person, a very naturally easy to be kind person. Kindness is usually second nature to me, and I find myself, I'm having to not retrain myself, but refocus on that. Not and when you're in a good mood, it's just so easy to do.
Right.
So for me, it's like, and I think I'm really glad you had me on to talk about this, just because I think that we need to remember that when things are going well, it's really a lot easier to be kind. But when things are going rough, it's a little bit more work. So I think for me, to answer your question, it's just making sure I'm cognizant of of those acts of kindness and actively doing it, but also allowing myself grace when I mess up. So I really have to focus and concentrate on those acts of kindness. And if you don't concentrate on the things that you're doing, whatever you're doing is not what you're thinking. And accidents happen, and you're not always going to be perfect. But I think that if you try to have an active mindset for random acts of kindness, and realize that, hey, be aware, I may not be in the best space right now, but this is something I can do today. I can do this today. Even if it may be in your second nature to do it when you're in a good mood, I think being aware and trying to demonstrate actively that mindset will help you even when times are rough, and allowing yourself grace when accidents happen and you mess up a little bit.
Absolutely. I think that you hit a great point when you said that, because I think that when everything's great, when everything everything's butterflies and clouds in the sky, everybody's just like boom, 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 life is great, blah, blah, blah. Things are easy. Things kind of come to you a little bit more natural. It's more of a second nature. You don't think about things as much. But, like you said, when you're struggling, when you have, things going on in your personal life, whether you lost your house, maybe you lost a loved one in your life, maybe you're just dealing with a lot of personal struggles and issues, it's hard to bring that kindness to light. It's hard to be able to reach out for other people and do random acts for them when you're struggling yourself. or, you know, for me especially, that's tough. But, you know, it's important to be cognizant, like you said, and be mindful of that because, you know, we're all human. We all, you know, are going to go through things. We all make mistakes. We all are going to have struggles. But it's how you handle that stuff. It's how you bounce back from the adversity. It's how you continue to incorporate in your own life, you know, the random acts of kindness, the self-discipline, you know, the being, you know, great to your neighbor and people and things like that. So, you know, it all works together and it all comes full circle, I think,
Absolutely.
especially for what you're trying to accomplish.
And this will probably play into you. I definitely need to stay tuned for Adam or sorry, Jace, because I definitely need to work on my personal responsibility, but I think he would probably attest to this as well. In that is give yourself grace to mess up. Guys, I think it's like if you want to demonstrate kindness, but you're like, oh my God, I messed up. I was rude to that person today. I just can't be kind now because I just messed up. Like today, I had a situation with where I had a little kind of situation with my Grubhub delivery person. I got an argument with them, and it's just like it almost like I could very easily let this dispute that I have with her just ruin my whole day because I wasn't maybe as kind as I should. Just be like, okay, you know, well, I'm just, you know, whatever. I'm not going to be able to be kind today. No, realize that, hey, you know, I could have handled that better. What can I learn from that? And if you mess up, give yourself grace, take from it what you can learn, and then plan the next act of kindness.
Right. So well said. Yeah, it's important, man, because like you said, you allow things to affect you in whatever way they do. If you are going to have a crappy day, if you're going to let situations and circumstances influence how your day is going to be, then that's where the real truth lies. But if you take that and turn it around and apply that in a positive way and look at things as, hey, the glass is half full, it's not half empty. You know, I can be great to this person. I can be kind to this person. I can allow them to be kind to me. You know, it just makes for a better day. And
Yeah.
I know that that's sometimes easier said than done. You know, we can all sit here and talk about it until we're blue in the face. We can all say, oh, well, that sounds great, Jamison, or that sounds great, more. But like, that's where you have to change the mindset. That's where you have to change the attitude and the motive that, hey, if you can continue to have these positive things in your life, if you can continue to have random acts of kindness, if you can continue to affect the other people in life as they affect you, then, you know, things come easier. Would you
Right.
agree?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that, you know, having that mindset will, like you said, that will help you through the good and the bad because, you know, like I said, mistakes are going to happen. And keep in mind, guys, that how we respond when we make mistakes, how we respond when things aren't going well, that's where growth happens. That's what teaches us who we really are. If everything went our lives, I mean, our way, our whole lives, I mean, like how
Life
boring
can
would
be simple.
like, I mean, how boring would that be? But, you know, that will actually teach you to be able to have that optimistic attitude, to have the ability to be kind even with stuff, if you respond in those failures and through your own mistakes, learning from them.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't say it any better myself. Are there any words of kindness, any acts that you'd like to leave with anybody for your thoughts, you know, just anything that you want to share with anybody?
I would say that kindness really, first of all, I want to say that kindness is not a weakness. And I wish I could spend a whole, you know, 30 minutes talking about how kindness is a weakness. But I think we need to be, first of all, aware that kindness isn't a weakness. Because I think subconsciously, sometimes we think that if you're kind, that's somehow a feminine or, you know, somehow weak quality when it's not. It's a sign of strength. But kindness also, and having random act kindness, it really requires us stepping outside ourselves and try to see things from other people's point of view. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be judged by my worst mistakes. So when people are maybe not nice to you, or you have disagreements with someone, or if you're just in a bad mood towards others and you don't feel like being nice, keep in mind, guys, that that kindness requires us stepping out of what we may feel ourselves and trying to look at other people. That's what kindness is all about. It's not about us.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. So well said. Man, thank you for your perspective, man. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. For anybody of only 2 people that don't know who this man is, please hit him with that favorite. Like I said, he has a great show himself, Pet Profiles, on the app every Wednesday, guys, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then every other Sunday, guys, he's also got an amazing show that he's working on as well called The Forgiveness Project. That's 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. Definitely check him out Wednesday, every other Sunday. Check out his streams. He's a great dude. I certainly have a lot of respect and admiration for what he's doing on the app. So continue to support him in whatever way you can. And thank you so much for being here, brother.
I appreciate you having me, Jamison. Thank you so very much, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, guys, what a start to a show. What a start to a show. Such a positive guy, such a lot of wonderful things that he's got going on, and to be able to have that perspective, I certainly admire that a lot. And like I said, guys, please send him with that favorite. Check him out. He's just such a humble and positive dude, and it's not hard to get behind somebody that has that kind of attitude. So definitely check him out. So guys, like I said, this week's challenge, we're going to talk about the new topic is going to be self-discipline, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So like I said, if you're new here, guys, this show is called Gratitude. It's about finding people that want to show more thanks in their life. This is a show that we do every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, guys. And we have guests that recall circumstances, people and memories that have humbled them to help them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. And I'm certainly very grateful for that, to be able to provide this kind of content each and every single week. I've certainly been able to have the ability to host a show like this on an amazing platform. And that brings us certainly a lot of joy and gratefulness into my own life to be able to provide that for you folks. And again, just want to thank you guys so much for attending this each and every single week. It's very, very much appreciated. Don't want anybody to think I'm not paying attention to the comments, paying attention to the guests, but out of respect for the guests, we just try to focus on the conversations that we're having. And so I just don't want anybody to think that we don't see that, but they are very much greatly appreciated. So guys, as we kind of translate gears into the new topic, last week's topic, random acts of kindness. This week's topic is self-discipline. And at this time, I want to welcome a gentleman to the box to be able to talk about that, Mr. Jace himself. Please request that box, brother. Certainly very excited to get into this conversation with you. Really, really appreciate that.
Yo.
Oh, what's going on,
man?
brother?
Oh, not much. Sorry. It was freezing up on me. Like the gift was covering up the little box or whatever, so it was taking me forever to get on here. But anyway, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Thank you so much for being here, man. For guys, anybody that doesn't know this man, he's been on the app for a while. Certainly wanted to take the time again, man, to wish you a happy Father's Day. I know you have, in your real life, 3 beautiful children. You're married. You're such a great dude to be able to wear so many different hats, to be able to not only stream, not only be able to connect with the people that support you, but to be able to be a father, be able to be a family man, certainly says a lot about you as a person. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here. I know you don't really do a whole lot of shows, but I appreciate you being here, man. It's certainly a joy and a privilege to have you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's like these things, man. I've been on here for 3 years, and these things always make me so nervous. Like I get like all kinds of like nerves going in me, but it's all good. But
yeah, man, it's great. When you provide a show like this, man, it's certainly a pleasure to just be able to meet so many different people in so many different ways. The app is certainly a huge app, of course, and there's thousands and thousands of people on here. But I think a lot of times people forget that circles are very, very small. So you may be on a humongous app, and there may be people that you may not necessarily come across. Exactly. And you may be on, the app for months or years at the time, because, I don't think you and I have ever really had much of a huge personal conversation, but I certainly, again, appreciate you being here, man. For anybody that's not familiar with you, for anybody that doesn't know, you're one of the OGs. If you want to just kind of, introduce yourself, introduce anything you want to share about, you as a streamer or anything else.
Yeah. Okay. So, my name's Jace. It was Adam. I go by Jace now. I've been on the app for 3 years. A lot of people know me by Adam. They still call me Adam down in the box, and that's fine. But yeah, I go by Jace now because I started a YouTube channel at the beginning of the year, and it was confusing the new people that were coming in that were going to subscribe to my channel. They were like, why is your name Jace on there and it's Adam on here? long story short, my name was Adam on here because everybody used to tell me I look like Adam Levine. So my name started out on this app as Adam Levine. I got a little bit of, a little bit bubbling. I dropped the Levine, and then
There you go.
Jason.
Hey, man, it's always good to kind of reinvent the wheel a little bit, keep things fresh. I mean, like you said, you've been on the app for 3 years, and, you're always going to meet a whole lot of familiar faces and new faces. So it's certainly cool to kind of switch it up a little bit.
For sure.
As we kind of get into, man, the topic of self-discipline, man, I know that you've had some things that you've probably dealt with in your life, just like anybody else. What does that really mean to you, man, when you hear and think of self-discipline? I know you certainly work out a lot. I know you stay in the gym. I know just within itself, that's certainly a thing that takes a lot of self-discipline, that, that mindset to just, this is what I got to do. This is how I take care of my body. This is how I take care of my mind. So, you obviously are a great candidate to be able to discuss that topic.
So, yeah, it's like self-discipline, like just the word in itself is just self-discipline. Like nobody can do it for you. It's just one of the things that you kind of learn. And I haven't always been like that. I've actually been like the worst version of anything that has to do with self-discipline, like basically forever. And, I've gotten into some trouble, with drugs, and then which led me to jail back and forth and then prison, and got to a point where I had to have something like to give me some type of foundation that would lead me out of there. By the time I finally went to prison, I got out and something had to change, and nothing changes unless something changes. And so, I actually met my wife when I got out, pretty shortly after I got out of prison. And I was working out while I was there. There's nothing else to do, right? Like you can just like eat and sleep and read books and work out. That's it. Those are your options. But I met my wife after I got out, and I got lazy. And as we know, what this app is incredibly hard to like juggle doing this and then like spending enough time like trying to do this, right? And then trying to gauge how long you should stay on, or maybe you're staying on way too much. Like this is what I do full time. I've been doing this full time for over 2 years. Like I said, I started 3 years ago. Over 2 years, I've been doing it full time. So it's hard to structure yourself, like to be able to manage your time and make sure that everything, because nothing's guaranteed on here, right? Like so it's hard to juggle that. Well, Courtney actually motivated me. I like I said, I got lazy, right? Like I got to where I was just staying on here, and I mean, I'd be on here from 7 a.m. If I woke up at 7 a.m, stay on till basically whenever I went to bed. I wasn't spending time with really anybody. I was kind of selfish, just like using my time for myself. And, in my mind, it was for my family or whatever, but it was kind of selfish at the same time. But anyway, she dragged me to the gym, dragged me back in the gym. Courtney did, while she was pregnant. She's going to the gym pregnant every day. And I'm sitting at home like streaming, like with no excuse in the world, So anyway, going to the gym helped me to find some self-discipline and to give me some more structure throughout my day, because shortly after I got in there, I was I got like addicted to it. And as far as like planning out my meals and what we were going to do, I don't know. It was just something that helped me structure my day. And that's really the main thing that I do it for, is just to have some structure. And I have to have structure. Otherwise, my life goes the other direction.
Yeah, I think it's important to have structure and self-discipline, because, I mean, like you said, as you kind of go through some, dark places in your life and some personal struggles that you had, you were able to kind of, overcome that a lot. And, obviously, when you get out of that situation, you have an amazing other situation that you didn't even know was going to exist, with your future wife and your future family, the ability to get in the gym, to put in the work, is certainly says a lot about you. What would you say really brought you out of the mindset or the dark hole that you were in, being in prison, being in those situations? What do you feel like was the self-discipline that brought you out of that to be able to translate to meeting your future wife, having, your future family? What was really a beginning point or foundation for you, especially to get there?
I just knew, you know, while I was in prison, I was there for 7 months, and all I did while I was there for the first 3 months, all I did was read books. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't care to know anybody. I literally just stayed on my bed and I read book after book after book after book, and like, to the point everybody was just calling me that's like the weirdo that's like sitting on his bed, and everything that I read in there was just mindset. And, you know, I was trying to read like self-help books because obviously if you're in prison, you need some like self-help, right?
Right.
Obviously, my help for myself wasn't doing it. So yeah, I read a lot of that, and every single book about anything with self-help is like mindset focused, just changing your mindset. And yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. I just realized that you know, doing the things that I was doing wasn't, you know, was getting me where I was getting. Um, and I always knew what to do. I just didn't really know how to do it. I really didn't have the tools to do it. So yeah, after being in there 7 months, I was forced to be there. You know, I've been to rehab several times prior to that, but you can leave rehab whenever you feel like you're ready or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I would always do. I would never finish. I would just leave or whatever and think that I'm good. And that was never the case. So when you're forced to be somewhere that you've got to be no matter what, like I used that time every single day to like make sure that I wouldn't go back because I hated that place. You know, it was terrible. I mean, it's just somewhere you don't want to be. You're away from your family. You can make phone calls like sometimes. You know, it's just one of those things. So yeah, I just focused on how to change my mindset.
As you were reading those books, as you were kind of, you know, reading the stuff that you knew that you needed to apply to yourself, what was really the motivational part that you took from reading it on a page to applying it? Was it getting to the gym? Was it meeting your, you know, your future wife? Was it, you know, changing your mindset and direction of this is where my life used to be, this is what I wanted to become? Was it certainly a struggle for you, at least that part?
It was a lot.
Do you feel like it was something that was something that you just had to continue to build on?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of all those things.
Okay.
I knew like that I wasn't supposed to be there, you know, like I knew
Right.
I was capable. I didn't have a horrible life like growing up. Like, I mean, it was like anybody else's, you know, parents divorced, but they were still like good parents, whatever. It was never anything like miserable about my childhood or anything like that. So I know I had the potential to be a better person than I was being, but it was just like me choosing to be the way I was because I enjoyed getting high or whatever. So yeah, it was like all those things. And I'd just take a piece out of every book and try to just, and I would be, and I took a lot of notes in there. Like at night, I would do journals every night before I went to bed, and I post some of those on my YouTube. Like today, I brought the notebook home that that I
Wow.
in there, and yeah, so I read some of those on my channel and stuff like that. So yeah, just taking little pieces out of everything and trying to apply it. You know, you can only it don't work if you don't try it.
Yeah. Do you think, like, especially today, like you said when you were posting on your YouTube channel, did it kind of hit you different when you went back to read what you put and look where, you know, what you were writing at the time and journaling that stuff down to where you are today? Do you feel like that was in a lot of ways it helped you appreciate more your self-discipline? Do you feel like it helped you appreciate more, you know, where you were at and what you've become today, especially?
Right. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Talking about it as much as I do, like on my channel and stuff like that, and then like, you know, and I've always been real open with people on here. A lot of the people that I know on here watch me go through it on here. Like I was
Sure.
so strung out like a few years ago on here, whatever. And yeah, just talking about the experiences, you know, because like when you go without, because I'm not against AA or anything like that. Like it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't like my, yeah, whatever. But you go without going to stuff like that and hearing other people's stories. Like in your own mind, you want to kind of glorify like the good times that you would have, but talking about it as much as I do about all the shit, like the bad parts, you know, that I went through, was just it helps me to just keep my mind, you know, going in the right direction.
Absolutely. Do you feel like that when maybe some days you have struggles because I mean, none of us are perfect. We all have days that are good. We all have days that are bad. Do you feel like really getting in the gym, really working out, really, taking time to take care of yourself, mentally, physically, does that help a lot? Do you feel like the gym takes away from, some of the struggles every day?
Majorly, yeah. That's like my time. Like we go to the gym and our gym has a daycare, so we drop the kids off at the little daycare in the gym. I put my headphones on, and yeah, for about an hour and 15 minutes, like nothing else matters, and then
Yeah,
when you get out of there, you feel real good about yourself,
you do. Yeah. You
so
feel,
yeah,
mentally you feel refreshed.
yeah,
Physically you may be kind of worn down, but it's like you, like she said, it's that therapy. It's the things that help you focus more on the positive stuff. And it's just the way of just being able to release all that energy. A lot of times I play a lot of basketball. So, for me, especially when I've had a tough day, when I've had, just a struggle at work or whatever's going on in my personal life, getting on the court, seeing the guys, playing with your friends, it gets all that stuff out, and it gets you in a better state of mind.
yeah,
For me anyway, because
for
I
sure.
need that.
Yeah,
I need that. I'm in a business where life can be very tough. Life can be certainly a struggle with being able to be a lot of different things for a lot of different people. And in order to do that, you have to be able to be that person for yourself. And
100%.
that's where it certainly starts. I feel like, especially to try to do that. And so it's really important for me, as well, to try to take
For
care of
sure.
myself and take care of my mind and my body. So yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Guys, if you're new here, this is a show that we do every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's called Gratitude. And we have guests that we have on every single week that want to show more thanks during their life. Each week's guest, recall circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them, to help them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. And we're talking to Mr. Jace himself about how important self-discipline is. He's had some struggles in his life. He's had some adversities that he's had to overcome. And, I appreciate you, man, especially being so vulnerable. I mean, I know that you talk about that with your stream, and
Mm,
people that know you on a personal level have obviously seen where you're at, what you've been through, where, you want to go and where you've been. But, for people that don't know you, like myself included,
mm.
to be able to hear that story, to be able to appreciate, where someone's been, to, see that obviously you have a lot more at stake than yourself. You have a wife, you have three beautiful children that you're trying to raise, certainly trying to set the example for them. Every single day is important. And, it speaks certainly volumes for you as a person, especially to go through that, because life is tough. Life is already a struggle. But, when you have, things that are self-inflicted, and you go through that, to be able to come out on the other side as a renewed and amazing person, especially being a man, I certainly have to throw my, hat out to you, especially.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Man, when we think about self-discipline, are there things also outside of the gym that you try to work into your everyday life that certainly work with the gym as well as being, trying to be a great dad and a great, father and stuff?
Yeah, I try to keep my routine basically the same every day. That's like important to me is having a routine. Yeah, we wake up about the same time. Our baby wakes us up about the same time. We go to the gym at the same time. We get home. I get on my stream at the same time for a few hours. I eat at the same times. Every single day. Is routine every single day. I read books at night. Yeah, before I go to bed, which was that was my routine whenever I was locked up too. Um, so yeah, just staying in a routine is a difficult thing to do, every single
Mm.
day. I've never been one to, most of my life, like I've never been, every day was just scattered and different mostly every day. But yeah, just trying to make sure that my routine is literally on point every single day is like one of the most important things to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it is to me too, especially, man, because I think a lot of times when you have a routine, it can be a little monotonous, it can be a little aggravating, but you can look at it from that aspect, but then you can also look at it as well as, it's important to have that structure. It's important to have, the everyday stuff that you plan for and to look forward to, because when you're able to incorporate that into what you're trying to do, to keep yourself mentally refreshed and rejuvenated and recharged, if you look at it from that way, and know that you're trying to be structured and routine. I think sometimes it makes it a lot easier for me,
Hmm.
especially.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
for sure.
Do you feel like, man, that that streaming has maybe created any kind of self-discipline for you? Do you feel
Yeah.
like, maybe coming on a certain time? Because like you said, this is something that you do to provide for your family and yourself, for the last 2 years. I know that that's important. So you obviously probably have a little bit different, maybe perspective on that as opposed to maybe somebody that just kind of does it for fun on the weekends or, maybe kind of does it when they're at work to pass the time or something like that. I didn't know, for you, specifically if there was, any kind of self-discipline that you got out of streaming and stuff.
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's how streaming is how I realized I had zero self-discipline, because I was just being so random all the time. And, I didn't, well, the past couple years or whatever, before I got in the gym, I was, yeah, I was just so random, and I'd get on and just stay on for so many hours. And like I said, nothing else was really mattering. So, yeah, I've found that if I get on at the same times every day for the same amount of times, people get used to that, and it's not always. I mean, it can be kind of stressful. I kind of have to switch it up some. Being as this is what I do full time, it can't. It's not always just perfect to my routine. I kind of have to stay on a little longer or get on a little bit sooner at times, but it's still basically the same time.
Yeah. And I mean, that's important because, like I said, you certainly have obviously a different perspective on it because, this is your livelihood. This is, like I said, how you take care of your family, how you take care, of what you're trying to do. So you obviously have a way different perspective and opinion on self-discipline, at least from the streaming aspect, than certainly a lot of people do. I enjoy it, just as much as, you do or anybody else. I think that it certainly brings me a lot of joy and gratification into being able to have a lot of different relationships that you have with people on here, people that support you, people that continue to come to your streams, even just to say hello. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be all about the gifting, or maybe you hadn't seen somebody in a while that you're like, oh wow, they popped in. It's like it's good to see them. I think is certainly something that makes all this very worthwhile and very gratifying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, do you have anything that you want to kind of add in closing? Anything you'd like to share with anybody, just to kind of words of encouragement or anything you want to kind of finish up?
Yeah, I appreciate everybody that came to check the show out. All my people that showed up, obviously all of Jamison people. Nice to meet you. I seen all of your comments. Like he was saying, we wasn't trying to be rude. I just, it's hard to like do both.
Yeah.
So thank you, KDB.
I think a lot of people understand how the show, when people are in show mode, it's hard to miss or it's hard to see everything, and people kind of get that, a show is a lot different than just a regular stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, man. It's hard to like what I'm used. It's not what I'm used to at all. So I'm over here like about to respond to like everybody. So yeah, but I appreciate everybody. Like I said, everybody that listened. That for all the gifts, for the subscribers to YouTube. I saw that. I appreciate all of you guys. Jamison, thank you for inviting me. It was nice to have a conversation with you, man. So
absolutely, man. And I appreciate you taking the time to be here. I mean, like you said, you got a great family that you're trying to take care of, and I'm certainly taking away from your your work ethic. But I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate you taking the time to share your story. I appreciate the vulnerability, from one man to another, and I certainly just want to thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, brother. Take care. Guys, wow. What a show. Oh my gosh, man, what a show. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to thank again, guys, Moore for being here, talking about random acts of kindness, how important that was in his life. Certainly want to again thank Jace, Mr. Jace, for talking about self-discipline and certainly some struggles that he's had in his personal life. And I just wanted to reflect with you guys. And again, thank you so much for being here. Want to revisit that quote with you guys one more time at the end of the evening. And just kind of say that one more time in regards to self-discipline. Wow, I can't even talk. The ability to discipline yourself to delay gratification in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term is the indispensable prerequisite for success. Let me say that one more time. The ability to discipline yourself to delay gratification in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term is the dispensable prerequisite for success. I want you guys to think about that. Like I said, guys, thank you so much for being here. That's a great show. If you're ever interested in being on the show, please hit me up on Instagram. It's up in my bio. I certainly have a lot of amazing people that help me with content, that help me with guests. Lisa's also in here as well. You can hit her up. She has an Instagram as well. She certainly helps out a lot tremendously. I have a lot of amazing people I could certainly just thank for helping me all the time, behind the scenes and trying to make all this work. So I appreciate you guys being here. Guys, in closing, wanted to leave you with next week's topic. Like I said, if you're ever interested in being on it, hit me up. We do a lot of different positive and grateful topics every single show. So next week's topic, guys, is tiny victories. Tiny victories, small victories in life that we can be appreciative of, grateful for. I know that life can kind of be a little crazy sometimes. Life can be a little insane, from that aspect. But if you have certain goals in your life, certain, tiny tiny victories that you plan to accomplish in life, I think it certainly makes things a little bit more easier. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. Tiny victories, tiny, small victories in life and how to apply that and how you're grateful for that. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week, guys. So thank you so much for being here. We've got about 10 minutes left. Yeah, we're good. Let's get some music going, guys. Thank y'all so much for being here, man. I freaking love you guys, man. Y'all are awesome. Love it.
We treat our customers like family. If they need something, and I'm not really.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate y'all. Oh my God, I thought we hit another ice dragon.